here's where I want to start. And this is just like between us and this niche.
Yep.
In this circle that we've been living in, and this whole like this group that's here year round, that whole circle, right? I'm really, really happy that we're moving on to the next thing, because it's felt like all of these weeks of the season, we were always asking, all right, another win, notch it up, another win, notch it up. But you were wondering, are they really going to pull this off to where we really are going up a level and there is something else at the end of this? That's a relief in a way that they did it. And now we are looking at something bigger and we're moving on to something better. And I'm really glad that it's progress. That's real progress. And I love it.
Yeah. And in the same way that Northern Illinois was important for this team and this unit this year, it was important. I think a close game like this, after all these kind of soup can type teams that we got a chance to play, it's a really nice check-in for your team. It's like, okay, shit is obviously going to get ratcheted up. It's a really nice way. And USC, and you know this, John, I've been hearing you say this for weeks. I mean, they're a much, much better team, more talented team than their record, shows.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, so I guess that leads me, it leads me to one of the questions I had for you right away. So you led me there. I was going to get to it. Let's just get to it. When you look at this game and the way it played out, some of the frustrating moments, it's obvious they have athletes and you saw that at times, whatever. Did you from that thinking USC's a lot better than their record? I could see why they, every game they've lost has been down to the wire in a one possession game. They're way better than I thought. Give them credit for that. They played their asses off. Or do you think this is what it looks like for Notre Dame when you're used to beating up on 10 or 11 nobodies for the last 2 months? And now you saw real athletes again, and it was a little bit of a different ball game for us to get into. Or is it a little bit of both?
What was the first part, John? I was daydreaming. I was thinking about something.
The first part was, do you just say USC's a lot better than we probably think they are, and that's why it was a little bit rougher? Or do you think maybe Notre Dame just hasn't played real athletes in 11 weeks, and when you do, it's a little bit more of a rough battle?
I think like most things around here, brother, it's a little bit of both.
I think that too. But that's if there's any negative, how people are in this niche. Even when we do this, there's going to be some negativity. That's what it is okay, they won it, but look at what happened when you face some real athletes. This is going to be a problem. You gave up too much here, too much there, whatever. And so that's an argument that I've seen, but it's like, dude, who isn't flawed in this? Everybody's flawed. There isn't that dominant team that you're just scared of that's going to crush everybody. Everybody has a flaw. You got to be in it to win it. When you're in it, go ahead and win it.
Yeah. And hell of a call-in show by you, obviously, Saturday night. And I called and I think I was legitimately drunk because I've been drinking with my dad since like noon. So I don't quite remember everything I talked about, but I remember saying something about this is football. So I don't understand why anybody would still continue to be negative as a Notre Dame fan or look for the negative things, but fine, do you. But in this instance, it's like the offense gave a lending hand to the defense, to that team unit, which is a huge plus in my book. And then ultimately, Lincoln Riley is a great coach, great play caller. He had a great day. And yet we still won the game because somebody stepped up and made a play when you needed it. And like that is football.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's like we got guys that can make plays, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That call wasn't bad. I cut it up today. I'm going to use it maybe for something else. It was fine. It was totally fine. We talked all year, and I've talked about for a long time, what group of Notre Dame players and what Notre Dame coach is going to be the one that breaks through. breaks through the old bullshit of failing on the big stage. The bigger the game, the more you fall apart, the more you play so tight, you have no fun, and you're too wound up to even make a play and relax. Like, we've been asking in the big bowl game, 30 years, January of 94, all this stuff. It's been since we won a major bowl. Some special group of players and a coach with the right messaging that the guys are behind is going to break through that. And it's going to unlock a new level of what's possible for modern Notre Dame football and wipe away all that old bullshit that makes us all sick. And it's like, you've done enough to get here. Why can't it be this group, man? The next one is knock off that 30-game big bowl winning streak, man. You already made the playoff. Check the box. You already navigated into a hosting seat. Check another box. The next domino to fall is end that 30-year drought right then and there. And then, Mike, then you get greedy. You follow me, man? It's that old song from the 80s. One thing leads to another. I'm telling you, one thing leads to another, brother, and this thing rolls. That's the next domino that falls. You end that 30-year streak in front of a home crowd with Rudolph flying around, and then it's on, Mike. Then you really get greedy and you see what the matchup is. You feel good and you go play ball. That's the roadmap now. Get greedy. Get greedy. Don't stop. Get greedy.
Boy, I love the way you pitch that, man.
Get greedy, man.
That's one of those things you can kind of sit there and you can sort of envision it.
Oh, I can. Yeah, especially
so why is that?
Especially with the favorable seeding. That's the other thing. There is a scenario, Mike, where Notre Dame could end up with really favorable matchups. Round one at home and a favorable roster matchup, and round two as well. I mean, there is a way here where you could lose to Northern Illinois and end up in about as great a position as you could to set up a real deep run. There's no promise of that, but there are a couple paths where round 1 and 2 look very favorable roster to roster for Notre Dame. I'm just saying, you could go on a real run. Get greedy. Everybody's vulnerable this year. Get greedy, man.
So that's what I wanted to drill into is like, why, I know I've been confident about the team for, a month or so, like legitimately confident. Why is it so easy with this team this year to like picture that? Like in my brain, I can snap that right now. Like I can picture that game. I can picture us winning. Just imagine what everybody's Christmas is going to be like. All of us degenerate Notre Dame people, that like what you talk about, that scenario, the bowl win, and then you go 3-4 days later, you're having Christmas with your little kids and your family, like unbelievable.
Yeah. How about this, Mike?
Yeah.
This team, this group of players is really, really likable and easy to root for. And their vibe is like very likable and welcoming and like totally like just exactly what you would want it to be like. And everybody really likes the head coach, man. And you want to support that guy. It's not like you almost felt like Kelly was succeeding in spite of himself sometimes. Or like even when things were good, you didn't like him personally, but you liked what was happening. This is a different vibe because I think this fan base, I think they are buying into the idea that Marcus is legitimately this hard of a worker and that genuine of an operator. And people want to see a guy like that succeed. This is all really easy to get behind this year. And then I've been writing about it for weeks. They beat the hell out of the last like 10 people, 390 something to 99 in scoring margin. Little by little, they bought back people's trust. And now the slate's wiped clean. You can't really hold Northern against them. They accomplished the goal, and you even got into a home seed. Now, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, the landscape of college football absolutely contributes to that there is no juggernauts really out there, it doesn't seem like. But yeah, because these games are going to be close, and I think having Riley Leonard helps too, man.